Welcome, ghouls and ghosts, to Psychotronic Coast to Coast, where we watch movies that are from the drive-ins, the late-night TV, the video stores, the midnight movies, the margins, everything but mainstream is the idea. That is the kind of film. That is a Psychotronic film. And today we have a gem, a treat, I'm not entirely sure how to categorize this. It is both entertaining and boring. And it has Billy Drago and Roddy Piper, and somehow is fighting to stay awake the whole time. I'm referring to Roddy Piper's Sci-Fighters, incorrectly regarded as from 2009, but that's actually when the movie takes place. This is actually from 1996. It looks like it's from 1996. And the only thing I remember from the movie definitively, other than the ending, is that the very beginning, Billy Drago climbs down a ladder on the moon base and gets into a buzzsaw fight with what appears to be, I thought was an android, but apparently was an infected prisoner with him on this moon base. Yeah, and the movie just kind of goes into left field from there. So, do you remember anything else from this film?
A little bit. So yes, it starts out on the moon with Billy Drago as a prisoner. And he picks up the, I guess a buzzsaw is what it was, which was kicking out sparks, even though it wasn't hitting anything. It just looked cool, I guess. Yep,
it was like just fire for no reason.
Slices the guy open that he was fighting with. That guy didn't even have a saw. He was just running away.
Oh, is that it? He was just,
yeah.
He's like, I'm out of here. Oh, son of a bitch. That guy is having one of the worst days ever. I mean, not as bad as the guy who almost drove his SUV off a cliff, got out of his car, and then was hit by a bus. That guy was having a worse day, but still, pretty bad day.
Yeah, and then his face explodes,
sending squids in split pea soup everywhere. Right?
I don't remember the squids, but maybe.
I don't know. I'm assuming he saw the squids later. I just assumed the squids were flying through the air.
It was a weird scene because Drago just goes in there with the dead guy. And then just cuts his arm. He just cuts his arm all the way up through. And then the guy's face explodes. And then like a little squid arm comes out and like goes into the wound.
Oh,
he starts freaking out. And then he presumably dies. And then they bag him up to send him to Boston, even though this was made in Canada.
Quebec? Toronto? It's Quebec. Yeah, it was made in Quebec.
And he busts out of his body bag, rapes a woman immediately.
Immediately, without even, just 3 seconds in, raping. You're like, what? He was been alive for like seconds.
And we see
Montreal, Quebec, Canada, to be specific.
We see Roddy Piper beating up some punks in the street. And then he's gonna go on vacation. He's yelling at his like. It's kind of weird. He's what they call the Black Shield, which apparently outranks everybody, but yet he still works for the police station and that guy.
And he gets to assign himself cases, I guess. I don't know. It would never really be clarified.
Yeah.
He's just badass, essentially. He's like a special forces cop.
It keeps coming into play because that guy's like, I don't like you. And he's like, Black Shield.
I'm like, damn it. Like, I'm Batman. Son of a bitch. I'm a fan.
Yeah. So the girl that he raped is still alive, and she's infected, and they quarantine her. And before all that, she identifies Billy Drago as the person who did it.
Yeah, and he's by identify, I mean she sits in front of what is now considered an antiquated touchscreen display while she looks at the same 4 eyes, nose, and mouth until she matches up Billy Drago's hideous, reanimated face. Oh, by the way, he escaped from the moon base because he dies, quote unquote, and he's put in a body bag, and his body's shipped back. And when he gets back, he climbs out of the body bag, reanimated by the alien infection. So that's where we're at with Billy Drago.
And I like the picture they were using that she identified him as, because he did not look that bad in the beginning.
No, he looked like Billy Drago in the beginning, and then he looked like Billy Drago infected with some horrific disease.
Somehow that's the picture they have of him.
My theory was perhaps when they export his body, they photograph it so that if someone tries to impersonate him, they're like, "Oh, there's his corpse right here." But I mean, I don't know. That's me just trying to give the movie a fair shake, even though it probably doesn't deserve it.
And so,
excuse me.
Piper's sitting at his desk. He's getting ready to take off, and he sees the picture of Billy Drago, and he's like, he busts into the office, and he says, "I'm taking this case." And the guy was like, "That guy's dead."
Like, I can sign my own cases. Black Shield.
It's like, if he's dead, why is his body bag empty? And he probably was shipped to the wrong city.
Oh my god. Shut the fuck up, dude. Positive ID of him existing and alive, and you're gonna be like, "We probably got shipped to the wrong." Then shut up. We live in a future in which, by the way, the future here, there's no daytime because there's so much pollution. So every 12 hours, they just turn on these external lights, internal lights, to make it look like it's daylight. That's how you know it's daytime and nighttime.
Doesn't work because the movie is super dark.
Some scenes it's impossible to see what's going on. Impossible. It's just what?
At some point, he meets up with the doctor and hits on her. They go out. Drago's out.
Like, that's so weird. He comes in, he starts asking her questions, and suddenly he's just like, "So you want to go out for, like, I know we just met. You want to go out for, like, some coffee? You know, like, dude, we've known each other for like 4 seconds. Really? Like, wow. Don't even know them at all, even a little bit."
And Drago kills a pimp and a prostitute and steals, which I just thought was like a weird baton with a knife in it. But later we learned that when it's better lighting, that it's a dildo with a knife that sticks
comes out of the penis hole. So they took the rapist's weapon and turned it into a literal object in the movie. The subtext is completely lost on the person who made that prop.
And then for some reason we still don't know, Drago goes back to a place he's staying and rips one of his nails off.
I don't know why he does that.
And then Roddy finds it later and takes it.
That's the reason why he did it, right? To be found.
Yeah. This is where it kind of jumps around a lot. It's like Roddy's out there hitting the street trying to find out where, Drago's character Dunn is.
And Drago's raping and killing everything he comes across. So.
Yeah, and the doctor is trying to work on the woman who's infected, the first victim.
Oh, and then that woman explodes and causes tentacle monsters to hit the lead examiner or whatever, and infects him. Yeah.
Everyone else makes it out, but then he seals himself in.
I mean, he gets a fucking squid right to the eyeball, dude.
Is it even a weird scene later where there's a bunch of people talking? They're like, "What if he is right? It's aliens." He's like, "No," and they just like dismiss him like he's an idiot. I was like, "What was that scene for?" He's dumb. Aliens.
And throughout the chunk, we find that what it is an alien infection that is meant to cause us to expel lots of methane, so it can change the ozone layer so that they could move in and take over because they breathe methane, not oxygen. That's the whole reason. The whole reason. The whole convoluted reason for this fucking thing to exist.
Yep.
Let's design a way of conquest that has multiple ways of failing. Multiple vectors of failure. Let's just, you know what? Let's just add one more vector of failure. Let's just have it the exhales of breath. Yeah, let's just use that. Especially
since Drago's character, like, at this point, I think he's only raped that one woman. He killed some other people, but he's only raped the one, which was the whole point, was to put those little squid things in them so they bust out and infect other people. So he's not even doing a good job of what he's supposed to be doing.
No.
I assume just because he still has his memory. Like for some reason, he's trying to find someone he used to love, which only really comes into play to the last 20 minutes.
Which, by the way, the first hour took like no time to get through. The last 30 minutes, I was fighting to stay awake because he just could not get to the fucking finale fast enough. Like, oh my god, this movie need to be 10 minutes shorter.
Before we jump to the end, we should hit on the
right.
Roddy burns this guy's face. He puts a shock collar on him.
That's right, with the laser scalpel thingy.
Yeah, and he's kind of forces him to track down Dunn, Drago's character.
Which is a neat effect, by the way, because it's like an actual physical object with obviously a specific colored key, probably blue, so that they can make it glow while it's like touching the forehead, and wherever it touches, they just animate onto the head or whatever. It's kind of like it's a nifty little effect they did. I gotta give them credit for that.
Yeah. So that guy is assumingly found where Billy Drago's hanging out, and they go there together. Now, this is where the movie was really dark, and I thought it was just one guy, but there ended up being like two African-American gentlemen. One that he burnt the face, and then another one that just had sunglasses on.
In a land which there's no sun, by the way.
Yeah. They bust in there. They bust in there. They kill, presumably kill Drago. And then those two turn on him and start shooting him. And then there's like a gunfight on the rooftop until Billy Drago just walks up, takes Roddy Piper's gun and blows those two guys away. Then gives it back to Roddy Piper so he can shoot him.
Right? Like, what the fuck? Just toying with him.
And then some cops show up and he's like, I'm a cop. And they just like smack him in the face with a gun. Like, shut up.
Shut your face, pig. Oh, God. Yeah, that was the movie. This movie was not as good as I was hoping. Wasn't as bad, though, either.
So even against Roddy Piper's, what he wanted them to do, they send him to this other hospital, where the quarantine woman, the doctor's still quarantined at this point. He quarantined himself. And, of course, Billy Drago just escapes. Although there was a pretty funny scene where Roddy Piper kept trying to go in the quarantine area and they wouldn't let him in. So he just beats the shit out of the two cops guarding the door and just walks in.
Just like beats the absolute shit. Kicks one dude in the dick like 3 times. They're being assholes to him and he's like, oh, okay. Bam, I can get away with this shit. Like, just beats the shit out of him.
But yet, when he gets to the door where Drago's being held, he's just like, any someone in there? The guy's like, yep, and just steps out of his way.
Yeah, because that guy respected him. There's the difference.
And then Drago's he's like, sound alarm, the guy's gone. But it's like, wasn't that guy watching the door?
Yeah, right. Went out the window, I guess. I don't know. Never really explained, I don't think. Unless it was one of those dark scenes I didn't see. Good to see.
And he's after the doctor who's sort of, but not really, Roddy Piper's girlfriend / love interest.
She's love interest. Good lord.
And there's that weird scene where he's running at Piper and Piper shoots him and he just jumps over him out a window, runs away.
He's like, oh, I can't beat this guy. I'm instead going to just sail through the air and leave. Okay. Exit stage right. That's like the best nope gif ever. Just nope. Get out the fucking window.
I don't remember much from there, but we'll just jump to where the doctor who's in quarantine decides to blow himself up. Oh,
right. Between there's those parts where we get the revelation about the whole alien thing, like that's the thing, and then that's when he's like, I'm going to end this shit because I don't want to explode, basically.
Which is funny because there's like seemingly a button he just pushes and he just bursts into flames.
It's so ridiculous. Oh, that's because of the quarantine room. That's why.
Yeah. And then she gets in the elevator all sad and Drago is up above.
Da, da, da. But you find out because he drools on her.
Yeah.
It's really gross, actually.
I thought he was urinating, but...
That's just as gross, actually.
All you heard was the sound. You couldn't really see what was going on.
Yeah, you see a little bit of it, and then she looks up, and he's like, "Eh!" And you're like, "Oh, fuck."
Has the part happened yet where we get all the unnecessary backstory? Or should I just say it now?
Yeah. Go ahead. That happened already. That happened before the scene.
Yes, because Billy Drago kept mentioning a girl's name to her when they first met, and she brought it up to Piper, but he wouldn't talk about it. So now they're finally sat down and talk about it because she sees the photo in Piper's house, and we hear the whole backstory of Drago and Piper used to be best friends, and they both went through cop school together.
Ridiculous.
And at one point, Drago dated this girl, but it didn't work out. And then Piper started dating her, and they got married.
It did work out, oddly enough.
Yes.
That happens sometimes.
And 3 days after their marriage, from what I understood, Drago showed up and murdered her.
Yeah, for reasons.
Because that's his woman, I guess,
Reasons.
in his mind.
Well, maybe he should learn to not that he can't own people. That's ridiculous, bro.
So
Anyway.
now we're at the big end scene where he has the girl and she's trying to get away. And Piper shows up, which was really weird because it kept cutting back. He's riding an elevator and then he's like cuts back to him and he's putting on like a vest and like bullets
and shit. And
he's pulling all the shit out of the bag for like 10 minutes while she's like running for her life.
Fighting him she like slams him against the wall, the forklift, and
then
all this crazy shit happens.
And what's great is he finally shows up. He's all like, I'm ready. And he just starts getting his ass kicked by Billy Drago.
Like, I'm ready to be the pinata. Oh, God. You know, just like, what the fuck?
He's like hanging off the edge and Billy Drago stomping on his feet.
Just shrieking. He's just hanging by one hand.
And she finds some laser tool.
It's a laser tool from earlier that he had in his bag.
Which we started joking about how everything was probably laser tools.
Yes. A laser hammer and what was the other? I got laser pliers. I don't know how that works, but laser pliers.
And she kind of pulls something from Friday the 13th where he's like, hey, I'm Katie. And he's like, no, you're not.
No, Katie. Katie's dead.
And then she just burns him with a laser, and he falls off the building.
Well, he's full of methane, so he falls off the building and explodes.
Yeah.
He fucking explodes.
I like the random people that started just running into the scene, like, what's going on?
He explodes, and then his stiff, clearly styrofoam flaming corpse falls gently to the ground in the most unconvincing way ever, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Just wonderful.
And if that wasn't good enough for an ending, we had like even more where she asked him to dinner and he says, I'll take a snow check. And then they kiss and then he walks away and then it ends after another, it felt like a minute of just outside shot of the building.
Yeah, he's just sitting there, music playing, we're like, credits? I'll take a snow check.
We gotta mention
oh my God.
Drago's constant changing of like accent / I don't know what he was doing.
It changed from shot to shot. He'd be in a French accent in one shot, literally close up, insert shot later, and he's talking with this other fucking accent. You're like, what is going on?
Katie?
Katie? Oh, Katie! You're like, what the fuck is happening? Oh, God. And the title has nothing to do with the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh. So it's a cop movie. It's
just set in the future.
What it felt like to me was Outbreak meets I Come in Peace. That's what it is. Outbreak meets I Come in Peace. I Come in Peace would have been much better watch, by the way.
Yeah, and other than the laser tool, like there was nothing sci-fi other than, I guess, you know,
the gun and the car, which is a modified, I think, a Lotus Elise.
I mean, the gun was shot normal bullets. It just had a little LED screen on the side of it. So I have no clue what was Sci-Fighters about it.
It's clearly inspired by Aliens, by the way, the gun with the numbers on the side.
Yeah.
The obviously tactical disadvantage of having a giant glowing red thing in a battle. Yeah. I guess I can see you. You're right there. The big red screen in your gun.
Yeah, the name doesn't make any sense.
He's fighting the sci-fi with his... He's fighting the science of his fighters. Punching science in the face.
Also, we pointed out before
fire,
all the spelling mistakes on here, but it also says he has to stop Grayson has to stop Dunn and the virus. He never deals with the virus at all.
No one deals with the virus. It's still technically active. Because a bunch of people were infected in the city by the end of the movie. No one solved the fucking problem.
Wow, he only killed them, so I don't think they got infected. I think only that one he raped.
Oh, you don't know.
Yeah, I'm just gonna assume that when he burnt the room, all the little squid monsters died in there, and that when Drago exploded, the virus is dead. He's fully dead. Case solved. Man. Black Shield.
I just and I like they choose the worst Billy Drago picture on the back. It's literally him like melty, sweaty, fucking dying from the beginning.
That's like the very end.
Is that the really end? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And
Billy Drago gets third billing for some reason. What the fuck's that about? Seriously.
Piper and the Doctor get 1 and 2.
Should have been Piper, Drago, and then the Doctor. I'm just saying.
Drago had more screen time, I believe.
He did. He was basically the main character. He was on the screen more than anyone else. Like, goddamn.
I wanted to like this movie.
I kind of liked it still, even though it's boring. I liked enough about it that I'd probably show it to somebody in like 5 years or something, you know? Like, I won't get rid of it.
I think the part that was really awkward was, you know, they're trying to almost play it straight, but then there's that doctor who just doing like weird one-line jokes out of nowhere, and then the music was seemingly trying to be serious when all this
it was melodramatic the rest of the time. It was just like, God, bad.
I like it was my favorite part easily was Piper was talking to the doctor, and he's like, I want to speak to her, you know, the rape victim. And he was like, only if you're telepathic. And then Piper just sits there with a blank stare on his face. He's just like, what?
It's almost like he's trying to use his telepathy, how much he wants to punch him in the dick.
Yeah, he's like, what an asshole.
What an asshole, exactly. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. I would rate this film probably 2 out of 5. Had some memorable moments. It has some highlight reel moments, but there's a lot, about 20-minute chunk after the first hour that you're just like, oh my God, I wish it took half as long. Really, really did. So yeah. What do you give this movie?
1.
Wow. Really? You think this is up there with some of the with like Bloody Ape? I mean,
no, Bloody Ape's probably. Did I give Bloody Ape 1?
I don't know. I assumed as much. It's a bad movie.
I'd give that half a star.
Half a star, damn. So you're saying this movie's only slightly better than that? Brutal.
I was probably far more entertained with Bloody Ape.
Really? Wow. Okay, I'm more entertained with this one, even when I was falling asleep. That was actually kind of. I was like, no. It really did feel like for a minute there, like I fell asleep during part of the movie. I didn't fall asleep, right?
I don't think so. You got quiet, snoring? But you were still moving.
Okay, yeah. As long as I wasn't snoring, then I wasn't asleep. I snore very loudly. So, all right.
There's better Billy Drago movies, and there's better.
We watched a better Roddy Piper movie. It was the last movie we watched. You know?
Yeah. There's still better ones. There's better ones than Frogtown.
All right. So for the people watching live now, all 5 of you, thank you for watching. By the way, we appreciate it. What awful what awful movie starring a wrestler are we going to watch next week?
I got it somewhere.
What awful piece of shit did you put money on?
12 Rounds Lockdown.
12 Rounds Lockdown. Starring who again?
Dean Ambrose.
That's the one with the arena, right?
No,
No, that's Countdown. God damn it, it's Countdown.
He's framed for a murder he didn't do by dirty cops, and he's in the precinct fighting dirty cops, from what I understand.
And he has only 12 bullets left, right? That was the 12 rounds in this
That's the tagline. 12
That's
rounds.
actually a really great flip of the premise.
One shot at redemption.
So yeah, we'll be talking about that in the next recording. And I promise, folks, that we'll be getting iTunes episodes eventually one day. We've recorded 2 episodes that we can actually bundle together, so they'll be getting that eventually when he has time to do that. Like, I'm not going to pressure him, I'm just saying. And then I had to set the libsyn or whatever and all that crap. And anyway, so yeah, we'll see you next time. Do you have any final words?
Not really. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it. There you go.
Don't watch it.
Don't fucking watch it, kids. All right. We'll see you next time, kids. Peace.